love this sweater. It's so cute. Glad I bought it. It's one of the things I do when I go holiday shopping is get stuff for myself. You know. Hello again. Welcome back to another movie reactions video. We are watching 2019 movies that I did not see in 2018. And today we are watching Tolkien. So this is about J.R.R. Tolkien, who I've read the Lord of the Rings books and the Hobbit book, which I did like the Hobbit. Now, I had seen the movies, the Lord of the Ring trilogy, so many times, like 150 times, and there's no sarcasm in that whatsoever. Potentially more before I read the books. Now, the books are a lot. They're just a lot. It took me like a year to finally pick them up enough and read enough pages to get through the whole trilogy. There's just a lot there, and I just wasn't into them. Now I'm kind of questioning that, maybe it was just kind of where I was at that point. I didn't want all of the extra things. I just loved the movie so much. And I actually haven't watched the movies, or I've rarely watched the movies for quite a few years now, actually. It was definitely a teenage phase where I just watched them all the time and had them on in the background and had tons of lines. I could just almost probably recite most of the movies to you, but it's been quite a few years since I really watched them. So I wonder if I reread the books, if I'd like them a little better now. We'll see. But I still wanted to know kind of more about him, so I thought it was cool. I like movies, but I like movies about people, that tell their stories or sides of them that we haven't seen. And I know obviously it's a movie, so it's going to be kind of dramatized, but I like that, like getting behind people a little bit more than you would necessarily know. Where did their ideas come from? Did they take anything from their real life scenarios to build their characters or things like that? So that's why we're watching Tolkien. So this movie is about, obviously, J.R.R. Tolkien. As a young student, he finds love, friendship, and artistic inspiration among a group of fellow outcasts. Their brotherhood soon strengthens as Tolkien weathers the storm of a tumultuous courtship with Edith Bratt and the outbreak of World War I. These early life experiences later inspire the budding author to write the classic fantasy novels The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So, yeah, that's what we're watching. As usual, there may be times where you just see my reactions to certain scenes and not the scenes themselves. I don't want to give away big scenes or at the end of the film because you have to watch it for all of the fun stuff. So let's get started with Tolkien. I found these at the store last night, and the first bite I took, I was like, oh, I've died and gone to cookie dough heaven. They're very good. Of course they are. They're Ben & Jerry's. It's so pretty there.
I prayed for a strong pack mule to help carry boxes. Look, my prayers have been answered.
Where are we going? Birmingham. Hold this all in your heart. Lock it tight and it will be there forever. I promise.
That is tough to leave as a kid. It's so lovely there and so many places to run around and play. Reminds me of Maleficent. Maybe it's just the color green.
Quite a change from Africa, I shouldn't wonder. They've been living in England far longer than they ever were in Bloemfontein. Isn't that right, boys?
Yes, we hardly ever carry our spears anymore. Been difficult to place, have they?
We'll demonstrate this to the rest of the school. You will do everything together for the rest of the term.
But sir...
Everything.
Yes, sir.
That's a good
He's made us liegemen.
punishment.
Not let excessive. It's an impossible standard. So do we. Geoffrey Bache Smith.
I like him.
John Ronald's Rule Tolkien. What about you?
Eating jelly off of a spoon. Oh, God.
To get out of it. To be free. I would go somewhere where I wouldn't feel like a poor orphan.
An excellent idea. What we
What? Oh, they're so young and they have such big dreams and these huge life ahead of them, and that's amazing. That's amazing right there. That's not why he took you away. He doesn't want you to fall for somebody else. But you don't know that, and he doesn't know how to say that. So here we are, back in the trenches. Wait, I thought you weren't supposed to. Oh, that's eerily beautiful. Oh, no. Oh.
Very well. You have a duty to fulfill, and you will fulfill it, Ronald.
What is his duty? Why does he have a duty? At like 19. What duty does he have? To go to school because his mom wanted him to? Are we living her life now instead of his? Look at the writing on the bottom left. I don't remember which language it is, but it's definitely in his books.
Of course you will. I let myself believe that there are happy endings for people like us. But there aren't. There can't be.
You know, the ending's not the end until the end, right? Like, throughout our entire life, you go up and down. Like, you don't just fall in love and get married and, oh, happily ever after. Like, that's not how it works. Oh, God, he's laying in a puddle of other people's blood. And there's so many dead bodies around him. Oh.
Something else? What's the matter with you? Shut up! Chris, see, Thomas. Oh, Chris. Sorry, Chris. It's funny how you're right. For an intellectual, you're quite an impressive right hook. Hit me back, please. No. Hit me back right now, please, Chris.
She was all worried about him forgetting her, which obviously has not happened. And then she goes and gets engaged to somebody else. I mean, she's doing it on purpose to try to make herself move on. Well, she's probably not doing it on purpose, but she's unconsciously doing it on purpose to try to make herself move on. I knew it. From the start. From their first time at the tea shop. I knew it. What is the grass even there for if you don't walk on it?
This is your chance, can't you see?
Yeah.
The professor is encouraging you to defect. What are you talking about? He's enticing you into his class.
He still says it wrong. Oh, how long is he gonna be there? I hate this part.
He died weeks ago.
He was the person who most embodied what it means to love. To be loved.
You're gonna make me cry.
That's why this is so important, please.
What did I think? I can't quite decide if I like it when movies go from like the current time frame and like move within the current time frame, but then also go like back to the past and like move forward within the past, because then I always feel like I'm left with questions and I don't know if I'm going to get the answers to them, because like I know what's going to happen, but I don't know like what's going to happen in between that's going to cause that to happen, you know? I can't decide if I like that or not, which is irrelevant to the movie. That was not as big of a sneeze as I was expecting. But I don't know, it's the first thing that came to mind. Again, movies are dramatized. They are of like stories of life. And I understand that. But I hope that most of that was true. And like because I find it so fascinating how people take things from their real life, or even how they see things, you know, he like sees a shadow, or the way that like a fire moves, and it is like draws things from them. And the oh my gosh, now I'm yawning too. I'm just interrupting myself here. The camaraderie of their friendship and turning it into a fellowship, and like the fellowship of the ring. And I mean, in The Hobbit, there's really a fellowship there too. They just don't call it a fellowship. But just these really like groups of people that become brothers. I find it so fascinating how people take things from life, from our real life and their real life, and turn it into these fantastical stories. I kind of want to reread the Lord of the Rings trilogy now, because I feel like I didn't really take it in the way that I could have. And maybe not necessarily could have at that time, but like I feel like I could really appreciate it more than I did then. Because I feel like back then I was like, oh, there's just so much extra stuff in here and it doesn't add to the story because like I already know the story. And instead, I didn't see the work of art for the work of art. I saw it as like excess from the work of art that I love, like still love, but like was really into the movies at the time, and was watching them so much. So I want to reread them because I feel like they deserve more than I gave them, um, because they are. He built this whole world. I mean, I know this, but like now I really like one man in his mind created this entire world. I'm gonna be yawning forever. And I just like the languages and the maps. I mean, just like the maps and the locations and the different like species, really, um, and what they appreciated or what they were good at or where they would live and how they would interact. And I mean, I don't know. It seems to me now, gosh, I'm all snivelly and I'm just everything. It's more like, I don't know. I guess the way I'm thinking of it now is like what he wrote is more than a book. Like he created a whole other world. And I know, I mean, like look at Star Wars, you know, like other things do too. So I'm not saying that like only he did it, but he just created this entire new like universe, really. This whole completely different way of life, and like just I mean huge. I don't know. I don't have the words to describe it, but he just created something huge, that is like I mean what The Hobbit was published. Oh my goodness. The Hobbit was published in 1937, I think it said, and it's 2020, and I mean I mean I know the movies are newer, you know, like 21 years old, and The Hobbit less than, so it's kind of like come back, but like we've just recently made movies from books that are what 83 or less years old, like because I mean The Hobbit was obviously the first one, but like it's still such a part of us. And I don't know. I was like, I had all these things, and then I was just like, I don't know what to say. I don't like war. I mean, who does? Like, really, who does? But that, like, they were excited. what? Why? Again, this is World War One. Like, there's never been a huge war like that. I don't really know like the history of Europe and wars and stuff because I'm obviously not from there. Um, so I don't, there was never really like a big war, before World War One. Like, there was no comparison to that. But they were excited and like throwing up papers. Like, were you like celebrating getting involved or like leaving the school? Like, I don't know what they were celebrating, but I mean, now we have 100 years of wars to look back on, and so much death. Oh my gosh, that there's just like no. I mean, I don't understand nowadays. Again, 100 years in the future, I could never understand how someone would celebrate a war. Like, just the loss, and not even just death, but like everything. Like, everything changes when you're really at war. It's, I mean, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know because I've never really like lived through one. But just, I would never celebrate one. Again, 100 years in the future, it's completely different, right? I have 100 years of history to look back on, and of terrible things, and they didn't. But that just like yeah, I don't know. Watching movies about war, it's interesting and like like kind of seeing a Hollywood type glimpse of it, but it just always just disturbs me like badly. I don't know, any kind of like death in movies is just, it's real. I mean, it's not, it's a movie, but like, just so, yeah. Anyways, I don't know how to say that, but that just like kind of shook me. I was like, I don't like, you're celebrating what? I can't. I just can't. Okay, I should probably stop there because I think I've been rambling for a while. That was Tolkien. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you've read the books, what you thought of those two, and if you agree with me that they deserve another chance because I didn't give them a very good first one. And I will see you guys next week for another 2019 movie. And I'm excited for all of them, but next week is gonna be great. So I will see you then. Have a great week, everyone.